Shalom, Yasharala. This your brother Dawud from GMS Tampa Bay 07, coming at you with this here truth again. First and foremost, I want to give all praise unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Rakach Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone that taught me this truth and that rule well. And salutation and much love for you, I can push in this truth and sincerity on the four corners of the earth and enduring afflictions. I don't want to jump into this here lesson as an update, a news update as we get closer in these times that we living in the year 2018, the year of prophecy. All right. So as you know, pretty much damn near every day, pieces and pieces of these prophecies are coming to pass to fulfill these prophecies that we constantly reading out. All right. And so here's just another piece of the puzzle, over, I believe it was maybe yesterday or so, maybe a day or two ago, where it was all over the news that let me see, it was Facebook, YouTube, and Apple. They all pretty much took down Alex Jones's like his pages, his podcasts, and his YouTube channels, all his stuff off their sites, And so these are the things that we should be like the scriptures say, watch ye therefore. Watch for these things, though it tarry, wait for it, These are the things that we should be watching for, and the scripture also says, blessed are your eyes for you see the things, blessed are your eyes for you see for the things that you see. Blessed are your eyes for the things that you see, because many kings and priests desire to see the things that you see, roughly paraphrasing. I know I butchered that up pretty bad, but these then that same scripture, jumping up a little bit, it says, like, I thank thee, Father, that you've hidden this from the wise and from the prudent, and have given this unto babes, So this thing is kind of like hidden, but then it's also like hidden in plain sight, because these are the things that they're looking for, And when you kind of go into the little rabbit hole a little bit, as far as puppets and the Illuminati, it's very, 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 very possible that Alex Jones could be an insider as far as being set up by them to so-called leak certain things and turn people up in certain ways just for like propaganda wars, But nevertheless, getting back to like the scripture say, blessed are your eyes for the things that you see, and many kings and priests, desired to see the things that you see and have not seen them, And so, we see these prophecies coming to pass. We understand these prophecies, these things, happening, So, this Alex Jones is a big thing, this is a big thing, something to that we should be looking at, And, with your regular eyes and Americanized eyes or whatever, not having the Holy Spirit, of Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shah, Bashem, Rakakadash on you, you wouldn't be able to see that, you would be like, wait a minute, what you mean Alex Jones is something big, That ain't, that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about, looking at things through the Spirit, discerning and filtering the things through the Spirit, We, the scripture also say, wisdom and knowledge should be the stability of that time. All right, this is gonna be our blueprint and our guide through getting through the things we got to get through. We're gonna start seeing certain things. This is like us in the movie The Matrix when they in the they like in the so-called Matrix or whatever, and they see all that green code, and that's how you decipher all of that stuff, through these here scriptures, So Alex Jones, being in the news, we don't really care about him and the shit he got going on and the shit he talking about, but we see certain things and we could discern certain things and we can see how the Lord is showing us signs through these things. All right. Now, touching on the Alex Jones situation briefly, apparently they cut him off for some of the things he was saying, probably like hate speech or something like that. I didn't really look too much into it. I just seen the headlines over all the little things. I kept seeing it pop up on the news sources, but, more than likely it was either for hate speech or something that he probably just recently uploaded, but all through the Spirit, we understand that, these are the times that we living in. We about to start transitioning into like things starting to start rolling for real, And so dealing with the crackdowns on Facebook and the privacy law and all this and that and hate speech, and obviously this with Alex Jones, further letting us know that we about to start coming into those times for the famine of the word, They about to start shutting us down and things like that. They coming out. Esau and his witchcraft, he's a very cunning hunter, all right? He's also hunting the souls of men. He's not going to, and he's going to do it cunningly. He's not going to just be so overt with it, He's not going to just come out, shoot him up, bang, bang, one to the head, they dead type shit, Esau going to be real cunning with his shit, He's trying to hunt the Israelites, the saints, right? But he's not going to come out in the media and the news and tell you that's what he doing. That's what he trying to hunt, you know. So as you see him pushing these laws and this propaganda to put us in a position to receive this hate and this persecution, you know, he does things like what? You know, he sets up certain people or Muslims and things like that to go out there and preach. You know, like there was a story about this Muslim guy preaching that, you know, the end won't come until there's like a holy war with the Jews and the Muslims come out victorious, you know. And they were saying that how that was so-called hate speech and they need to lock him up for that, or they was trying to lock him up for it because even though he was reciting out of a holy book like the Bible or the Quran, you know, as they said it, you know, that, you know, that's still illegal. But they ain't really talking about them Islamic people as if that's a threat, because they've been out there doing that shit for a while, since forever. That's all they do. You know, they've been talking about, you know, that's a little backdrop in the story. They always been talking about jihad, waging jihad. They've been doing that, you know. Same with the Alex Jones. I don't watch Alex Jones, you know. I mean, I started out in the game, you know what I'm saying, watching Alex Jones years and years and years ago, you know. But nevertheless, I don't keep up with him, you know, in current day, you know. But I would, you know, be willing to bet my bottom dollar that Alex Jones, all the things that he spoke about back then, all right, years and years ago, is all the same stuff he still talk about, the same principles and the same things he stand on. So I don't really believe that Alex Jones switched up the game and did some new shit, you know what I'm saying, that because he was already out there, you know, he would already be one of those type of people that the government would so-called come down on already, you know. But nevertheless, he's being one of those puppets that they feed him the information to put certain things out there and disinform people. That's why his show is called what? The Info Wars. He fighting the war for information and who he gonna inform and disinform, you know. But nevertheless, as we see them starting to crack down, you know, on big people like Alex Jones and their little roots, because they say all kind of weird conspiracies, like, you know, the thing with the Jews and Sandy Hook and 9/11 and all these things, you know, all these different things they talk about him, you know, or he talks about in his show or whatever, you know, or his little broadcast, you know. So they equate those type of extremist topics to some of the things we talk about, you know, fluoride in the water, and, you know, basically the white man's the devil, you know. And this is why they would set Alex Jones up to play the role he would play, to basically be a fall guy. So when they ready to pull the plug, you know, he falls out of the race, and we just so-called slide right in there, because they've already built up the image of the bad guy using Alex Jones, all right, by describing us as Alex Jones, you know. Oh, okay, all the things the Israelites doing, you know, they out here condemning the white man about X, Y, and Z. We're going to create a character like that, call him Alex Jones, and when we're ready, you know what I'm saying, we're going to pull the plug on him and say what he was doing was wrong and illegal, and then we're going to go and persecute all the other ones that's like him, all right? And that's pretty much what you have here, all right? So as you see these things happening, you can understand the times that we living in for the occupants, you know, that's in this truth, you know, truth and sincerity, you know. We living in those times, you know, we basically like the actual original so-called Alex Jones, the one that they being puppets to try to portray. We actually them, you know. We actually all these little people, employees, they coming out on the news with these things. So we have to understand the times that Esau's showing us that he's signaling that we're going into that direction, all right? So as we understand, Jacob's trouble is right around the corner, you know, martial law and all that's around the corner. We also understand that this famine of the word must come, you know, it's right around the corner as well, you know. And so we have to be circumspect about a lot of these things and prepare ourselves, all right? So jumping into this here article by RT, it says, Truth is Treason, an Empire of Lies, Ron Paul on Big Tech Censorship. After the executive director of Ron Paul Institute got suspended on Twitter, the former congressman from Texas told RT that social media crackdowns are part of a broader effort to silence dissident in the U.S., all right? And so, like I said, listen, Esau's a cunning hunter, all right? He's trying to hunt the saints, all right? But he's not going to come out there and just say, the Israelites and this is what they do, boom, 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 flat out. Nah, he's going to create all these different things. He's going to propagate all these other little distractions around you that somewhat mirror or have a similarity to, you know, the saints, basically. And then come down on all those things until at the end of the day, basically, he done made everything about you illegal to do, you know? So, you know, you have to watch out for these things that's so-called hidden in context right then and there. You know, when you see these things that Esau's doing, just understand that you take them out of you take whoever's in a situation out and put your name in there. And that's who and what they trying to do to you, you know? So it says, While social media could be a real delight and very informative, the biggest role social networks are playing is working the government. Ron Paul told RT on Tuesday the government is indirectly regulating speech through companies like Twitter and Facebook, he added. And see, that's the moral of the story right there. It says the government is indirectly regulating speech through companies like Twitter and Facebook, he added. So again, this is why, like I was saying, blessed are your eyes for you see the things that you see, and many men desire to see the things that you see, and it was hidden from the wise and from the prudent. They be reading this whole article for all these other things, and don't see the scenario or what's really going on, what's really the tactic of the so-called white man, the devil. All right. It says the government is indirectly regulating speech through companies like Twitter and Facebook, he added. And how does that connect to us, the Israelites? All right. Where do you think we pushing out this here gospel at? All right. We putting it out on the internet. All right. On YouTube and sites as such. All right. Like the scriptures say, day unto day utter speech, night unto night. There's no place nor language where their voice is not heard. We upload in that way, But now they trying to come down and censor certain things, all right? It says the government is indirectly regulating speech, okay? By what? It says through companies like Twitter and Facebook. And you better bet that YouTube is up there as well. That's how Alex Jones got shut down, through YouTube as well, all right? It says you get accused of treasonous activity. And hold on, where am I? It says you get accused of treasonous activity and treasonous speech because in an empire of lies, the truth is treason, said Paul. Okay, and that's the truth. All right, that's exactly why they deem us the way they deem us, the way they look at us, the way they look at us, because we telling the truth, but this whole society is already, how do you say, blinded by the light. This is Babylon the Great. All right, the great land of confusion. All right, where good is evil and evil is good. Up is down and down is up. All right. So it says you get accused of treasonous activity and treasonous speech because in an empire of lies, truth is treason. All right. Just like where we live nowadays, you want to try to grow your own garden, be organic and live off of that. You get, the government come down on you for things like that. You try to do certain things, how do you say, law abiding or whatever, whatnot, or call out wickedness. And the so-called white man come down on you on that, all right? It says, challenging the status quo that what they can't stand and is and it unnerves them so that they have to silence the people. All right, so basically, you try to speak out, you know what I'm saying? You try to expose Esau and his wickedness, they ain't gonna like that. All right, like in the book of John chapter 3, verse I want to say verse 19. They don't want to come to the light because their deeds were evil. They don't want to be exposed, That's what it's like here in this kingdom, Esau don't like us calling them Edomites and explaining to the world who he is according to the Bible and his downfall, all right, and his future judgment, all right? He don't like that, all right? And he don't like us telling our people that we the Israelites. So what do? They call you what? So-called treasonous, or what? Terrorists, all right? They call you all these types of things to get it into people's minds, the rest of the people's minds, that it's okay to kill you, basically, that you the bad guy, but not the government. But it says you get accused of treasonous activity and treasonous speech because in an empire full of lies, the truth is treason. So in an empire full of lies, let's say lies, deceit, and death and murder, when you try to expose those things, you become the enemy, all right? It says, the Institute's director, Daniel McAdam, found himself suspended from Twitter on Monday, apparently for retweeting a comment by radio host Scott Horton. So you can see here it's direct targeting to certain individuals because they said he retweeted something else. I don't know if they took down the post that the original person had tweeted, say, because it was so-called hate speech or whatever, whatnot. You know what I'm saying? But nevertheless, homeboy just retweeted something else somebody else said, And it's the internet, Like, they got all kind of fake ass shit up there. They got certain shit like, if you mix this and that, you can get this out of that, and that shit don't even work. But they let that go up there, They let all kind of bullshit go up there. Hey, you should go fuck your mom and a goat at the same time. You know what I'm saying? You can go on the internet and say some shit like that, and they'll let that shit go. But you can't say, you know what I'm saying? You can't bring out truths about certain things without getting, suspended, or getting fired or reprimanded, You can't say nothing about their evil or their wickedness without none of these things happening to you. Getting blackballed and whatever, like let's say not business that you in, but whatever line of whatever you in, whatever sector that you in, you get blackballed from that. Something else in here I wanted to grab. Oh, right here. It says, I'm just hoping that technology can stay ahead of it all and that we can have real alternatives to dependency on Twitter and other companies that have been working hand in glove with the government. All right. So they work hand in glove with the government. What do you think that means? They ran by the government. Like I always like to stress about Facebook. You know what I'm saying? That's just the damn CIA. You know what I'm saying? These are parts of their little programs or special op programs. You know what I'm saying? FBI. Not FBI. See, and fuck it, that's their initials. Facebook. You see what I'm saying? But nevertheless, you know what I'm saying? Certain things like that, These are the ways they get you on these things, but then they control it. So they can control the narrative. They can control everything about it, But nevertheless, these are the same little systems that's out there used to so-called, like how you say, brainwash people on certain things, Or keep people in the dark about certain things, disinform people about certain things. When truth is coming out, you can silence people through those how do I say, those not networks, but those platforms. All right. It says, if we, some of us tell the truth about our government, okay, tell the truth, not spread lies, but if you tell the truth about the evil, wicked shit that they doing, same with Esau, okay, they call us treasonous and say that we're speaking out of line. Now, think about that. They correct by calling you treasonous, because what does that mean by going against your government? The problem is your government just wicked. They want you to go along with their wicked ass plan. It says, if some of us tell the truth about our government, meaning trying to expose them for what the hell they really doing, all right, they call us treasonous or going against the government because they want to keep that hidden. All right, that's actually their agenda, but it's like, now we know we doing some fuck shit. That's what we want to do. We just don't want everybody to know about it. All right, it says, and say we're speaking out of line and they like to punish us. I think it's part of what's happening with social media, he added. It's like, yeah, we getting out of line and they trying to punish us because we don't want to allow them to keep going on in their wickedness, all right? Grab a couple scriptures real quick, just to point out the times that we living in, as far as how this thing is something not to take, how do you say, lightly, something to be serious about, and also the things that you watch in these news articles and videos that you see. There's a lot of meat in all these things. There's a lot of signaling in these things. Like I said, with Alex Jones, he been speaking on the same shit for I don't know how long. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, what's the reason of them pulling the plug on him? Because homeboy is a big so-called media figure. A lot of people know him. So when he fall, that's going to cause a big disruption in the system. People going to be talking about that. It's going to be buzzwords getting more and more in the minds of the people. It's about time to shut this here shit down. All right. It's going to be okay to start shutting down, the Men of the Lord's pages, because they just like what? Alex Jones talking about the same shit, Started pre-programmed in their mind. All right. This is the book of Amos chapter 8, verse 11. It says, behold, the days come, saith Yahweh, that I will send a famine in the land, not a famine of bread, nor of thirst for water, but of hearing the word of Yahweh. Give me 1 second. So the Most High saying, listen, there's about to be a famine come up on the land, but not a famine of bread like you would normally think. It's not going to be a shortage of food. It's going to be a shortage of hearing this here word. The word is sometimes synonymous with food. Take this roll and eat without fineness, And people be like, oh, damn, he dropped some real gems on me, Oh, I was over there eating, we getting, we devoured that. Let me let that digest for a second, referencing food, But this here scripture is going to be like that food. But the Most High said, look, I'm going to cause for a famine in the land, all right? Not of bread or a thirst, but of hearing the word, all right? It says, and they shall wander from sea to sea, from north even to east, and they shall run to and fro to seek the word of Yahweh, and they shall not find it. That's talking about these people these 2/3 well, basically just the 2/3 who was too late they waited too late too long, you know. And now they coming back to see find the prophets to get the truth now, because they actually seeing some shit coming to pass. But what it says, I'm gonna send for a famine, a famine in the land. They ain't gonna be able to find the truth, because the truth gonna basically be cut off of out of in circulation at that point in time. The Most High gonna take that from us, as far as the scripts and putting the videos up and things like that. We're gonna just have, at this point in time, the laws and stuff, or the scriptures written inside of us. Like the scriptures say, now wisdom and knowledge should be the stability of that time. You might not have the scripts right there with you, but the constant rehearsing these scriptures, these verses, we memorize all this. So it is what programmed in us at this point in time. All right. So I'm gonna just read verse 13. It says, in that day shall the fair virgins and the young men faint for thirst. So yeah, they're gonna be looking for this, but they ain't gonna be able to find it. They're gonna be like somebody dehydrated and they can't get no water, and they just basically pass out. This is the book of Revelation, chapter 2, verse 10, speaking on, the famine of the word. It's not going to just come with the Most High, going to just put it in our spirit where none of us going to want to go out there no more. Nah, you see it as it's happening now. They turning us basically into so-called terrorists, making what we do illegal. So when they just clamp down on us, or when they just anybody who read the Bible, or anybody that preach, anybody who say anything that come out the Bible is damn near a terrorist and got to be taken. You see these things happen, all right? This is Revelation chapter 2, verse 10. It says, fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer. All right, so Yahushua is prepping us, all right, for a time to come. It's like, listen, whatever you got to go through, don't be afraid of those things. All right. It says, behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prison. All right. And that devil is talking about these Edomites. All right. And what they got coming up for these Babylonians, these Americans. Martial law and FEMA camps, all right? That's one of the things that when you're in conspiracy theory type of stuff, you learn about that, but they just don't tell you what it's for and why they doing it, all right? It says, fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer. Behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prison. And who is the damn devil that's going to be casting you into prison? Not no spiritual demon Satan. It's going to be these Edomites, all right? It says, and you shall have tribulation 10 days, but thou be faithful unto death, and I will give thee a crown of life, all right? So, the so-called white man at this point in time gonna wind up putting us in the prisons, think to kill us, put us to death, and all these different things. Like I said, especially for preaching this here word. As you already see, they cutting down big people like Alex Jones and so on and so forth, getting the people minds ready for what's about to come. The people would be flipping out if they just be like, oh, wait a minute, there's like, how many of these YouTube pages is the Israelites is uploading all of a sudden now? One day the news is, oh, we had to remove 200,000 pages for X, Y, and Z, all labeled grade, Millstone, or GMS, This is, right here. This is, John 15 and 18. It says, if the world hates you, you know that it hated me before it hated you. All right. So, once we about to start catching this persecution and they putting your face on the news and things like that, calling you out to be a bad guy or disrupting a disturbance in the city. Hey man, don't act like it's you the first person to go through. Your house shall just happen to him first. All right. It says, if you are of the world would love its own. All right. If you was with these people the same way, the same mindset of these people, they would get down with you. These demons love company. It says, but you are not of the world, but I've chosen you out of the world. Therefore the world hateth you. All right. So basically, because you ain't got that same spirit on you, you ain't got all the spirit of a 2/3 upon you. You know what I'm saying? These demons is mad and they jealous and so on and so forth. And they just want to come and overthrow you, I'm gonna pull one more close out. This is, Matthew chapter 24, verse 9. It says, then shall they deliver you up to be afflicted, and shall kill you, and you shall be hated of all nations for my name's sake. All right, and what you mean by that name's sake? We not getting arrested and being killed for, because You know, not in the moment where we was preaching the word on the highways and the byways, or sitting down in the house and studying and reading. Not in those times, but when we just you know, we gonna go out in the streets, maybe with some homies, play basketball or whatever it is you might do. You know, that ain't you getting taken up and killed for being in your house shot's sake. You know, no, that's you being killed for whatever other reason. But if you out there on the highways and the byways, and that was the motive, oh, we gotta kill anybody on the highways and the byways doing X, Y, and Z, or anybody uploading these types of videos, that's why. That's the ones that's gonna be killed for Yahweh's namesake. All right. It says, then shall they deliver you up to be afflicted, and shall kill you, and ye shall be hated of all nations for my name's sake. All right. So, and that's what you see that these Edomites preparing to do at this point in time, by making all the things that we do so-called illegal. So at one point in time, they just sit there and be like, all right, fuck it, we're going to implement all these laws as one law. And the one person that's going to fit that description to a T is who? Jake. All right. Going right along with his plan for extermination of us. All right. But with that, Lord, I want to say the lesson was edifying. Until next time, I say, call halal Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Rakakadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders, the great millstone that taught me this truth and that rule well. And salutation and much love for you. I can push in this truth and sincerity in the four corners of the earth and enduring afflictions. Stay strong. Shalom.